Hey guys, welcome back to another segment of this week's Pull, or as Josh would like to say,
What are we reading?
And now you can turn the volume back up, ladies and gentlemen. All right, welcome back to this week's Pull, or what are we reading, where we just talk about what came out this week. We discuss this week's comic books, maybe a little bit of last week's, and just the comics that we're reading in general. I'm going to let Josh take this one because he seems super excited to talk about a certain issue. So, Josh, take it away.
All right. So, today, which if you're listening to this was yesterday, Thanos 17 came out.
March 21st.
Boom. Okay. So, Thanos 17 came out. As you guys already know, I am really into this book.
Wait, is it Thanos 19?
17.
Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember. Let's make fun of the customers.
They don't listen.
Business ethics, guys. Who gives a shit? Just look. They come in the door and you go, get the fuck out.
It's not like I had him sign an NDA or anything. It's all good.
So there's a lot of kind of talk going on with this book lately with the storyline, mostly because Frank Castle is considered the new Ghost Rider. And he's also the new Herald as well. He's
of Galactus?
Of Galactus. He's a Herald of Galactus, and he is also Ghost Rider. And he is also kind of like a knockoff of Deadpool, which is kind of sad. It's probably the one thing I really don't dig that much.
Good Deadpool or bad Deadpool? Poor writing,
decent
jokes
Deadpool.
all the time.
Decent Deadpool.
Okay.
He's just kind of like, he's like, hey guys, I'm here, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, that's not Frank Castle. Frank Castle's like, fuck you guys.
Rapists, sadists, psychos.
I'm going to
come to know me well.
That's better.
Fuck you. Okay. And I didn't want, like last time I talked about this book, I didn't want to give away the big, huge thing. But the big, huge thing is there's this battle between, old Thanos and this young Thanos from the time traveling. It's all fun. They are trying to destroy Galactus and everything. And they get it all down and blah, blah, blah. I've already talked about all this shit before. But the fight comes down to Silver Surfer comes into the picture.
Nice. Always a nice little wild card to throw in.
Yeah, and he's not silver anymore. He's just chrome, really dark chrome, because he hasn't been working with Galactus.
Kind of like in Rise of the Silver Surfer when he gave a little bit of his life to bring back Sue Storm, and like you saw those like gray patches on him.
But this Silver Surfer is different than the ones that we noticed before.
Is his name Norrin Rad still?
His name is Norrin Rad, and he is even more rad because he, my friends, possesses the power of Thor.
Oh shit, that's pretty badass.
Yes, he is in possession of Mjolnir.
Mjolnir, okay.
Mjolnir.
Okay.
And you see the last panel. Yeah, I just, it's one of those words I always have to fuck up. I just want to.
It's a soft J, like yogging.
So like me, so like me when you take off your pants.
Yes,
I'm a soft J.
I call it more like a soft D.
Soft D. Okay, but regardless, and that was in the last panel of the last issue. We see Silver Surfer comes in and he just pulls out that fucking hammer and you're just like, oh shit.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. And this
pretty
book,
rad.
Yeah, so this whole book is a fight between Silver Surfer and these two Thanoses, and also this new cosmic Ghost Rider that everybody's going ape shit about. Best part about it is I'm going to go ahead and spoil some shit because I just need to talk about it. So I'm opening up so I can show them when I get to it.
If you hear pages flipping, it's because he has the actual book here.
As we see in this panel right here, fucking Silver Surfer just fucking blasts his cosmic Ghost Rider in the fucking grill, pops that motherfucker's head off with that hammer, right?
I'm gonna say this right now: not safe for children.
Yeah, not safe for children. And then we get Hawk and blah blah blah. He comes in there, don't give a shit. It's just all about the Silver Surfer. But Silver Surfer takes down Hawk by himself. Best scene that I've ever seen. One of my favorite panels.
Rematch from Planet Hulk.
Yeah. Hawk is fucking, because he's attacking Silver Surfer, and he is punching Silver Surfer in the face. And Silver Surfer's just standing there going, Bruce, calm down. Calm down. And you legitimately see Bruce's knuckles, or the Hawk's knuckles, bleeding against, and Silver Surfer's just standing there.
What a G.
Yeah. But I'm going to ruin this. I don't give a shit, because I want you guys to read this, but at the same time, I need to talk about it. How this ends is they fucking, both these Thanoses get together, they tag team, and they fucking cut Silver Surfer's arm off with this cosmic Herald sword that Ghost Rider was wielding. They cut his arm off, and they surprise attack him because he can't, defense himself up and everything. Cut his arm off and everything, and then the whole time, the old Thanos, the King Thanos, he is like talking about how he's going to fucking kill Silver Surfer with that fucking hammer. Right? So they fucking cut his arm off that's wielding a hammer. The hammer is sticking up, and the stick's up, and then Thanos takes Silver Surfer's head and fucking slams it down, and the handle goes through his fucking skull.
That's pretty brutal.
I had to talk about this. I've been wanting to talk about this since I read it. I was so fucking excited. This book is so fucking gnarly.
Yeah. All right. Well,
but there's a lot of fucking in there, but not a lot, like not actual fucking, but like I'm talking about in my review.
Yeah.
But this book, this storyline is probably one of my top storylines that I've been reading from this year and also last year. It is great. I highly suggest people reading it.
As we said last time, you wanted to talk about a Thanos book. I saw it need to start from the beginning and pick up the trades. So,
yeah, it's great.
I'm not gonna lie though, the first trade I'm gonna pick up this week is probably Volume 5 of The Flash. I need to get caught up. So
yeah, man, that's another good one too.
All right. Well, the thing I want to talk about first is probably Damnation, or the Doctor Strange Damnation.
Yeah.
Number 3 came out today. There's also tie-ins with like Iron Fist, which I read today. It ties into Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider. I have no idea what the fuck he's doing amongst this team, and he's completely useless. So I don't really care to, read his thing, but. It's actually a pretty badass little book. Again, you've got guys. Blade's a badass in this one. Damn it! Now I'm trying to talk about it, I can't remember it all too well. Wong.
That's what was going on with me with this. I can only remember those when I was talking about Thanos. I can only remember these key moments. I was just like I know you heard me when I was reading. I was going, damn.
Yeah, I did. But anyway, so. This book's really it's really been pretty damn good. I think it's just a cool idea to bring all these like weird misfit kind of mystical characters together. You've got Wong, you've got Moon Knight. Moon Knight thinks he's actually moving Thor's hammer, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Again, he's like I've got these split personalities. One of them has to be worthy, right? and he's trying to think
I love that. That's so good.
You got Iron Fist. Actually, what's really cool is Nick Spencer was one of the writers, the guy who wrote like Hydra Cap and shit. So he's got weird takes on these characters, which makes it a little bit more fun. But the end of this book is actually where it gets really fucking good, because they come up with this whole plan. So instead of stopping, because Doctor Strange right now is now a ghostwriter. He's gotten taken over because anybody who basically they're in Las Vegas.
You get a
ghost rider. You're a ghost rider.
Yeah.
You're a ghost rider.
Under your seat.
Yeah, Mephisto's like the most demonic version of Oprah ever. But no, so Dallas
I think Oprah's still the most demonic version of Oprah.
She's so nice.
Have you seen A Wrinkle in Time?
No. You haven't.
Nobody has.
I know, neither of you, and it's on your fucking list.
I was going to say, don't you have the movie?
Yeah, I just added it.
Anyway, we're getting derailed. So, Dallas, if you don't know what's going on, so what happened was Las Vegas was destroyed in Secret Empire.
Okay.
And what Doctor Strange decided to do was use his magic to bring back Las Vegas, rebuild it, bring all the people back to life and everything. When he did, Mephisto came literally from the depths of hell, set up shop in Sin City, and starts running like a casino, right? And where anybody in Sin City who actually commits a sin turns into a demon. So like Doctor Strange's like, fuck, I gotta go in and I gotta stop Mephisto from doing this, because all these people, like jaywalking, bam, they're a demon. You know what I mean? So it's like
Jesus. It's a pretty gnarly book.
It's pretty cool. So what happens, anyways, in this book is Doctor Strange is now taken over by the Ghost Rider, because he got the penance stare from like Thor or somebody, and then his ghost dog kind of inhabits his body to kind of take it over to keep Doctor Strange from being. Yeah.
Your face right now, Dallas. Is
so Doctor Strange has a ghost dog called Bats, and it talks and everything. It's actually
great. Just read the first issue.
It's really
the first
good.
like 3 pages is the ghost dog talking to him.
Yeah.
About
okay, enough. I'm going on about issue 3. Anyway, so
leave him alone.
I'll tell you later.
The end of this issue is Wong has devised this plan with Johnny Blaze to take out Mephisto, and Johnny's like, Wong, quit. I know how this goes. Like, I'm gonna do it. Anyway, you see this badass sequence of him taking his bike and just doing like this crazy stunt, and then rides up Mephisto's tower, and he confronts Mephisto as Ghost Rider. And he's like, this has been a long time coming. You knew this was gonna happen. It's time to throw down. And the next thing you know is Mephisto just snaps his fingers. Next thing you know, Ghost Rider's not there anymore. It's just Johnny Blaze. And he's like, what'd you do? He's like, I relieved you of your curse. You no longer have to be the Ghost Rider," and just shoves him out the fucking window. And that's the end of the book. Like, it's just Johnny in free fall.
That's awesome.
It was a badass little book. I read the Iron Fist tie-in, and the Iron Fist tie-in was really badass. If you're an Iron Fist fan and you read the Matt Fraction, Ed Brubaker run, and because you have Orson Randall, who was like the Iron Fist before Danny Rand, he makes a comeback in this, and it's been years since that run happened, and that's actually pretty exciting if you're an Iron Fist fan, especially of that series. So I definitely recommend picking up Damnation, and if you're all the way caught up to issue 3, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I might have to pick up both of those. Those are both very convincing reviews.
Thank you very much.
So good job.
You said fuck a lot, Josh. And then
You
I'm
convinced
just going,
me.
this must be a pretty good
book. If you're dropping that all
It's
the way
either
right.
there's a lot of fucking in this book, or it's really good.
One of the two. I mean, I can't be upset either way.
Yeah. You see that Doctor Strange book sitting up there right next to Iron Man? Yeah, it's Damnation #1, just in case you're interested, Dallas.
Man,
I
that
might
first
be.
2 pages are great.
Hey, my birthday's coming up.
Yeah, it is, actually.
I have birthday.
Your birthday's
grab
Friday,
that.
right?
Yeah, grab that comic for me.
Happy early birthday, my man. Okay, so Dallas, did you want to talk about anything that you're reading?
As a Batman fan, I just got through the first 2 trades of Batman Rebirth.
So you're a little behind.
I'm a little behind. I'm missing a few issues. I wonder why.
I don't know. Honestly, you asked me about that yesterday. I was like, I have no idea why you'd be missing that issue. It's the first issue of the War of Jokes and Riddles, so believe me, you're not
Batman
missing
25.
much.
Yeah, from what I've heard, that arc isn't the
You
best.
had like 15, 20 copies of that book.
I know.
I don't know.
But
what
here's
happened. I really
the
don't.
thing, too. That is the arc where probably 5 or 6 people decided to take Batman off their pull list. So trust me when I say you're not missing much.
You're one of them.
I'm one of
Josh
them.
is
After
pointing
that
to
arc,
us.
I was like, I gave it like one more book after that arc, and I was like, fuck it, I'm done. I can't do this shit no more.
Yeah, he's lucky because he can come in here about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and still pick the book up, read it, and not have to pay for it. 'Cause I'm that nice to him.
Yeah.
But anyway, go ahead.
But read through the first 2 trades. The first trade, you get Gotham and Gotham Girl. It was a nice introduction. I can spoil things. Gotham dies pretty quickly. I wasn't expecting that to happen. Kind of disappointed because I was kind of interested in the characters, at least the backstory behind them, and then he's just gone. Then the second trade, Bane gets involved, and I was like, okay, I'm excited to see this. And honestly, I was extremely disappointed with that.
Keep reading till volume 3.
Well, I know that's when you get the true Bane.
Yeah.
But it was just so...
Yeah.
Like, I was going through it, and I was like, there's moments in it where I was like, okay, because I know certain things coming up in the comics. I know Batman and Catwoman are together, which I like that pairing.
I think everybody always has, yeah.
I like that pairing, but there's hints of it in this, so I was like, okay, I'm liking this foreshadowing, I'm liking this, but the whole Bane part of it, I didn't give a shit about. I like the Suicide Squad part of it, but I didn't like the Bane part of it.
I'll say, as far as Batman Rebirth goes, I think the I Am Bane, which I think was volume 3, was probably the highlight of the whole series, and after that, it is tanked in quality. So
yeah,
I think
when I was reading it, it started off and I really dug it, and then it started kind of going down, and I mostly just kept going with it because I was really
Batman.
It's Batman, and you just really hope it's good. And
I think you brought up a good point. You're like Iron Man, you always go with him, even if it's bad. That's how I am with Batman. The main storyline of Batman, I don't get Detective Comics, but the main story of Batman, I always try to get. Same with Batman Beyond.
Yeah, I'm not a fair weather fan when it comes to Iron Man. I'm going to read everything Iron Man, and when I didn't own the shop, I collected every Iron Man issue, whether or not I liked the run. But yeah.
The second trade was kind of lackluster. It was all right. Some of the writing was really cheesy. Like
Was Batman it I Am Suicide? Is that the volume 2? Okay.
Yeah, it's I Am Suicide. Batman kept repeating to Bane, and at first I thought maybe it was a different character that they picked up in the prison, and it was someone impersonating Batman, because he's like keeps repeating, I'm going to beat you and I'm going to break your back, something along those lines, and he repeats it over and over, and I was like, this can't be Batman. That feels so lackluster of writing, so childish to keep repeating this over and over and over.
Tom King loves to do that. He loves to do this Dark Side is God or whatever, and the Mr. Miracle shit. He's been doing this the entire
Mr.
fucking
Miracle
Batman run.
It's like an overrated piece of shit.
It is, but anyway, sorry, go ahead.
It just pulls you out of it. You're reading it. I'm kind of getting to the story. I was like, okay, I'm going to see Batman and Bane. Bane not using Venom, seeing his true fighting skill, not Venom, not hyped up. This is going to be cool. And Batman just kind of takes it for a ploy, which you find out later. And I was like, okay, that's cool. But the dialogue between the two, I was expecting.
Isn't that when they like break out of like a prison together and
shit?
Okay,
they go to get what is his name? I can't remember his name off the top.
Hugo Strange? Was that
Well, he's part of behind it, but there's a guy that can change people's emotions, and Bane was using him to get off of Venom to become happy and brave, is what he was doing.
Right.
And Batman's going to get him so that he can save Gotham Girl, who's dying.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to make her happy and safe because
I thought that was Volume 3.
That's Volume 2.
Okay.
The prison. I think Bane comes back where you actually get the luchador mask and you actually get Venom, because at the end of it, he's asking for Venom.
Yeah.
But the writing was just so eh. So
That's Tom King for
the first trade, good. Second trade, eh. I'm still following it. So
Have you read The Button yet?
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anything else to add about Batman Rebirth?
Nope.
I think a lot of us picked up Batman Rebirth thinking it's still on the high of New 52 Batman and Snyder's run. Mm-hmm. And then I think a lot of us kind of convinced ourselves it was still pretty good. And then after a while, like the rose-colored glasses come off and you go, this is not good.
I mostly hung on as long as I did just because of the whole the Flash Batman crossover of The Button, which was like most of it lackluster.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was pretty bummed about that.
Yeah, that's what I like to refer to as an empty calorie.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, so Josh, your next issue you'd like to talk about. I know you've got Deathbed on here.
Deathbed. Okay, so I talked about this on one of our other podcasts. I want to make sure I give the credits out to the...
Well, keep talking about it.
I talked about this a while back when the first issue came out. I was mostly talking about it because it was really random, and the main character in it started fighting off these ghost creatures with his dick out. You remember that?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I do remember you telling me
Yeah, because it was just really random. This old man's in his deathbed. This girl's supposed to be ghost writing his autobiography, and then all these like ghost creatures creep up to the bed, and he hops up out of the bed, and everybody thinks he's about to die, and he's like all naked, his dick's out, and he starts fucking killing all these creatures. So of course I had to go and read the second issue.
Sure.
And it's done by Joshua Williamson and Riley
Williamson. I think he's the
Rossmo?
one. Isn't Williamson the one writing Flash?
I think so. I can't remember off the top of my
I
head.
think it is. Anyway.
I should know this, but I don't.
Way to go.
Okay, but I'm just like, yeah. Okay, so I was reading this, and it's fun. It's a fun read. It seems like there's trying to be a serious story, but at the same time, it seems like it's mostly just supposed to be fun. This girl is following him around. Now he's going back on these ventures. He's trying to stop these mummy ninjas, assassins that are killing off all the people that he interacted with in his very, very long life. He's lived a very long life. He's like in his hundreds. And he is just like some kind of like superhero captain with like this pointy ass beard.
This just sounds like a kid who got to write whatever the fuck you want. He's just having a joygasm.
Exactly.
So is this like Beavis and Butthead? Like you have to watch it and shut your brain off? Like you have to read it and just shut it down and just enjoy it for what it is?
The best part about this, though, okay, so she's following him around ghostwriting, and then there's this one girl that's his friend that was killed, right? And they go to pay her respects because she was killed by these mummy ninja assassins, and they go to her funeral. And he speaks in this weird kind of tone, but like while he's there, the woman's son is talking about how charitable this woman was, how she gave so much blood after a hurricane, and she made a charity foundation, and all her money went to this charity foundation. And then he goes up and he goes, "You guys don't know shit about Maggie. Maggie was a very strong woman, and she shouldn't be remembered just by a charity. She should be remembered for her fights as a warrior, and the treasures that we found, and we splurged, and she splurged towards all these, to help other people and for peace." And he goes, "And me and Maggie, we fought people, and we were during Roswell, and we were down on the ground, and we were fighting. And me and Maggie, we ended up she forced herself on me, and we were naked, and we just rubbed our bodies and had sex all the time. And she was a great lover. She could give so much good love."
Okay, all right.
And it's just like you're reading this, and you're like, this is fucking hilarious. Like this old man sounds like he's fucking has like dementia or some shit. And it ends up getting where they end up getting kicked out, obviously, and like that's all I got for this, really.
All
like
right.
I just like this book. I don't.
It's a Vertigo title, right?
It's a Vertigo title,
Okay.
and it feels like a Vertigo title. And the story is really nothing really there that's sticking out, but it's just like there's these little things like an old man's dick being flung around while fighting.
You have such an infatuation with penises, man.
I do. You almost think that. This microphone kind of looks like a penis.
Knew he was going to say
It looks like
a
Cyborg's penis.
Yep.
Okay, but it's It's just funny. It's a funny book, and it's interesting, and it's weird, and
So
it's
should I order it for
creepy.
the shop so you can pick it up? You want a hard
I
copy
would.
of
I
it?
would probably. I would honestly probably get a trade of this.
Okay. So
When it
you
comes
don't
out to
want
a trade,
hard copy.
I don't think it's a fantastic storyline, but it is a fun read.
So it's kind of like Shirtless Bear Fighter.
Exactly.
Literally, what I thought of when he said his dick was out, I was
Yeah.
like, that
it's like
reminds me of
Shirtless Bear Fighter. It's like Shirtless Bear Fighter, only but if it was more of like it had a supernaturally
Yeah.
like a dark feel.
Well, I did love Shirtless Bear Fighter. So
Yeah, so it's like that.
Okay. All right. So the next one I want to talk about is I think it was issue 706 of Thor.
Oh man,
That was a good fucking issue, man.
Yes,
So
it
we're
was.
Tell
finally.
us what happened.
They've been teasing the death of Jane Foster, right? He looked very insincere about that.
yeah, I know. He's like, I don't give a shit about Thor.
Yeah. But no, they've been teasing the death of Jane Foster here for a while now. I think since like at least issue. I mean, they've been teasing since the beginning. Like we've known she has cancer and she's not going to make it. The more and more she turns into Thor, the more time it takes off of her life. But this is all during the event of her fighting the Mangog, and Mangog is like destroying Asgard. Freya's fucked up, Odin's fucked up, Thor's fucked up, Tooth Gnasher's fucked up. Like everyone's pretty screwed. And she's like, fine, I'm turning to Thor for one last time, and she takes on Mangog, dude, and she whoops the shit out of this guy. I mean, she takes a licking, man. I mean, her fucking helmet's all smashed in, she's all fucked up, but she does some stuff with Mjolnir that we've never seen anybody do, and I thought that was so just fucking awesome. I mean, we've seen it a little bit in the comics in this arc where she can kind of control the trajectory of Mjolnir, and so it can just bounce around, kind of like Cap's shield a little bit, but she takes that rope that she said was forged by the dwarves of Nidavellir, I think, and she takes that and she just fucking flings the hammer, and this thing flies all around Mangog, and this guy, Mangog, is all about just destroying gods. He's like, I'm going to kill the gods, you guys are false gods, all this shit, and it ties him up, and she just takes that hammer and throws it into the fucking sun. Because Asgardia is what it's called now, is like plummeting towards the sun, and so she just decides to take the thing and throw his ass directly into the sun. And while she's fighting Mangog, she's talking about, no, I hate the gods. At times I've hated these people, and they've squandered their gift. And you go, holy shit! Like this whole and what Jason Aaron's done is found a good way of expressing the idea of what a mortal sees life as opposed to an immortal like a god who has basically all the time in the world, and us as mortals, our time is limited. And so she's like, they've squandered this gift that they've been given. He doesn't go so on the nose as to say, oh, they didn't cherish life, because they have so much of it. But she's like, they've squandered it, and I'm going to show them what they can do with this gift, and they can stop wasting their fucking time. And anyway, so she beats Mangog, and Thor, Odin's son, is freaking out, going, Jane, you've killed yourself. You've committed suicide. And for the first time ever, we finally see Jane Foster's Thor without the helmet, with the flowy blonde locks. She looks good. I can't lie. She looks really good as a god. And then the last panel is Odinson holding Jane Foster's like dead cancer-ridden body. She's unconscious. Great issue though. I mean, it's really sad. It really is sad that more people aren't reading Jason Aaron's Thor run because it's Jane Foster's Thor. It's still really well written.
Yeah, I haven't even been reading Thor, and I picked it up, and I was just like, man, the panel art in this is ridiculously good.
Oh, Russell Dodderman is great.
I already knew the art was good, but then like this issue in particular, the panel art just looked really great. Just like it going from one panel to another.
It reminds me of Jack Kirby a little bit because it's so colorful.
Yes, and so I went ahead and I read it, and then I bought it after I read it because it was so good. And like one thing you didn't mention, like when he's holding her cancer-ridden body and everything. Yeah. The part where like she goes in for the kiss because like he's scared, he's freaking out for her, and then like
this is when she's unmasked.
Yeah, she's unmasked,
she kisses
and then
him,
he's like, and then they kiss, and while they're kissing, the panels show that she's she's turning back into the cancer-ridden Jane Foster without the.
So his last kiss with Jane is with true Jane.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really poetic. It's done really well. And honestly, if you're a collector, this might be the issue that you'd want to pick up going, this is the death of Jane Foster. Yeah. Now, it's very possible she's just unconscious in the next one, and that's when she truly dies. But if you ask me, this was the death of Jane Foster. So. Yeah.
And it was good. And you know what? I kind of hope it is, because this would be a perfect out. Mm-hmm. This just like you end it on such a high note.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like it just like that would be the ultimate like just like yes.
Yeah, and as I think back on Jane Foster's journey as Thor, like she's done so much as the character that it could honestly rival the feats of Thor Odinson. Like just if I'm thinking back, like she's been on the Senate of Worlds. She came together with like this group of like dark elves, light elves, dwarves, and we're traversing the universe to like put out fires and shit. It's been a great run, and I'm sad to see that it's going to be ending soon. But Dallas, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I got one more.
Okay, what else?
It's actually going to something you had brought up a minute ago, and I am curious to kind of branch off and ask this.
Okay.
If Moon Knight's different personalities, if one of them was worthy, could he actually lift the hammer?
I mean, if he's worthy, I don't see why not.
The personality, would it?
Right.
Would it?
It's not the body that makes you worthy.
That's true.
It's the character.
That
so.
would be interesting to see. That really would, like, one personality just for a split second, just to take over, and another one be like, nope, we're not doing this.
It'd be awesome to see like Jake, his one character Jake, be the one that's worthy. He's like, yeah. And then like next thing you know, his personality switches. That thing just drops on his head. Yeah.
But branching off of that, I've been reading Moon Knight, the Legacy run.
Yep.
I got through. I'm at the last issue, the most recent one.
You had to pick that up from me because
I left it somewhere and you got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy birthday.
Thanks. I have never been someone to read Moon Knight. I knew who he was. I knew the basic concept of Moon Knight, but I didn't read a lot of him. So this was a nice refresher for someone. This Legacy run is a nice introduction to the character. It briefly tells you who he is, why he is, what he is, his personalities, who they are. It gives you some traits when they talk, so you can understand, this one's more comedic, this one's more serious, this one's the fighter.
One's the taxi cab driver, one's the actor.
They all have different personalities. There's one panel in it, and I forget which issue it is, but it's nice to see, like, he has the mask on, and it's one of them, and he can't fight. It's the personality, and he can't fight. And he's like, okay, I need to get him. And you see, like, the quick in the mind switch. So, like, they're talking. He's like, hey, basically, you're up. And they switch real quick, and then he starts kicking ass.
Yeah.
But it has me excited to continue, so I added it to my pull list because I'm going to keep reading Moon Knight. It's really good. Artwork's okay. It's nothing spectacular. It's nothing terrible. It's okay. But the writing's decent.
Yeah.
The writing's decent. The story's decent. It's a nice introduction.
Bemis, I think, is the writer. Bemis. I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
I would say if you're enjoying this run, I think the run before it was a little bit better.
That's
by Jeff Lemire. So I know I've got all 3 trades. If you're ever looking to delve into that, I think that does a better job of really getting into like the psychology and like not really knowing what's real and what's happening in his mind. It's really kind of a trip.
It's nice because you hear so many comparisons to him being the DC, the Marvel Batman.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously there are similarities between the characters, but it basically comes down to a vigilante. Basically,
yeah,
like he has moonerangs, basically,
right.
But that's about it. Like the personality thing, it makes him more interesting in certain aspects.
Yeah.
So it was a nice read.
Think about it. I mean, like
one's obsessed with bats, the other one's got 5 people living in bodies.
Bats and his dead parents. The other one just has multiple personalities.
Right. So it's nice to see there are differences.
Yeah.
Just because everybody automatically chalks him up to being that. So I'm having fun reading the.
One wears white.
All right, so
there's difference.
All right, so I'm gonna go on one more that I read that you didn't read, and then the last one I know we both read, so we can talk about it. The last one, real quick, I want to talk about is Tales of Suspense. I believe it's 105. It's the 5th issue in this 6-issue miniseries where Hawkeye and Winter Soldier are looking for Black Widow because they believe she's alive. Well, spoiler alert, she is alive. They talk, but they kind of go over how she's alive in this, and it's all about going back to the Red Room. It's all very Russian-based, I should say. And it's actually a really interesting read. It actually really gave me a lot more respect for Natasha because honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I've never read a Black Widow comic. I didn't read Wade and Samney's run, which I'm now more interested in reading. But this one,
it's a good run.
That's what I hear good things. I just never been that interested.
I enjoyed it.
Well, I'm going to say this issue made me more interested in wanting to check out a little bit more of Natasha. Mm-hmm. But it's really cool because all these things have been happening throughout this run, and it's before you really knew whether or not Natasha was still alive. And then it goes back to then this whole issue is Natasha based, where everything else before it was all Clint and Bucky teaming up to look for her. So this is all just from Natasha's point of view, and then it starts to hit back on all the events, and it doesn't do it doesn't telegraph it for you. You just start to put the pieces together. Oh shit, I remember that from that issue. I remember that. Oh fuck, she's been behind all of this stuff. So it was a really cool little read, and if you like the dynamic between Bucky and Hawkeye, which I love them together, it's awesome.
Yeah.
If you like that, then definitely pick up this series. But if you want to know what happened to Natasha after she was killed in Secret Empire, this is a great read.
Yeah, Tales of Suspense is really good, and I agree. I think the main thing that's really selling it for me is the interaction between Winter Soldier and Hawkeye.
It's done superbly.
Hawkeye.
Yeah, hot guy.
Hot guy.
Oh God.
But it's done really well. Do you have anything else?
No.
Dallas?
That's about
Okay,
it.
so then me and James are going to talk about the...
James.
Sorry, god damn it, dude. Sorry, me and Josh are going to
I
talk...
don't know if you can see this, but I'm flipping you off.
I know, it was an
I
accident.
know they can't see it, but I'm flipping
I'm sorry,
you the
there's so
fuck
many
off.
J's. It's Jake, James, Josh.
It doesn't matter.
Sorry.
I'm the
Jake
most
and
important
Josh.
J to you.
You are.
Well, I
Other
don't know.
than
I
the
think
joint, I'm going to go
BJ
smoke after this.
I think BJ is more important.
Yeah, and the B comes first.
Yeah.
I'm the J in his BJs.
Oh,
Low
you-
Josh.
You guys are my DJ, though. You're my
Hey.
DJ.
Oh,
All right. Anyway, the last thing we're going to talk about real quick is the new Kick-Ass, issue number 2. That's Mark Millar and John Romita Jr. They teamed up again. And I remember thinking, after I read issue 1, I was like, this kind of feels like just an excuse to go back to a hit title, something that already has a little bit of success. So I read the first issue, I'm like, this is interesting, it's okay. But then I read issue 2. Issue 2 is much better. It's done a much better job of fleshing out who this new Kick-Ass is, why she's doing what she's doing. And I think it's a very interesting new take on it. She's like, I'm not a superhero. I'm not a superhero. And at the end, she's like, I'm a superhero. And it's it's gory. It's really smart. I like when there's some intelligence behind it, when she's like kind of tailing this guy and figuring out his route and figuring out when the best time to strike is, all that kind of stuff. But I didn't have high hopes after issue 1. Issue 2, it's got me a lot more interested. How about you?
I completely agree with John on this one. Oh, I mean, Jake. My bad.
I saw that
completely
smirk on your
forgot.
face. The whole time I'm talking to you, I see the smirk on your face. I know the whole time you've been waiting to say that.
I just I'm gonna call him John.
How long
Watch
did it
this.
take you to
He's gonna
figure out the
fucking
name?
burn. Well, I was sitting here thinking about it. I was I'm gonna call him Mike. I'm gonna call him Mike.
All right, James, keep going.
I swear to God. I swear. I'm done. I quit. Everybody, this is a special variant
You can't
episode
quit.
of What Are
fire
We Reading?
you.
I
I
quit.
fire you.
No, I've already quit. Okay.
Right, no severance pay.
You don't pay me now.
I give you a good discount.
He doesn't pay you.
No, he doesn't pay me
Oh, he
shit.
pays me.
Nah, he gives me good discounts.
All right, anyway. What
And,
do you think
and
about-
all I gotta do is just let him call me James, because apparently he's like fucking James behind my back.
What'd you think of Kick-Ass issue 2?
I think it was pretty kick-ass, except for when they forgot my name. No, Kick-Ass 1, I agree. The first issue, I was kind of worried because I thought, okay, they're just trying to keep milking the fucking cow.
Yeah.
You know, Kick-Ass, the first Kick-Ass I liked a lot. Second Kick-Ass, and just kept going and going. And I just
Kick-Ass
didn't
2
really like it.
didn't do much for me.
Yeah. First issue, I thought it was going to be the same thing. You know, we get this character who's a mom and all this stuff, and she does it to make some money, and she just so happens to use a costume that is exactly like Kick-Ass.
I think she did it on purpose. I think they say it was
Yeah.
a purposeful thing because she was like, I heard about this when I was overseas, and so she,
And then I read this issue, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get, because I usually give books about 3 issues. And I read this issue, and it's a lot better. It stands alone from the other Kick-Ass comic books.
It does.
And
There's no reference. There's
no
no ties
reference.
to it, so it's like its own
The
thing.
only reference that you have is the costume.
Yeah.
That's it. And her motives, her thought process, her intelligence, everything is completely different from the Kick-Ass. In the Kick-Ass, the first one,
It was like if one of us had put on a costume.
yeah, that's the
you know?
whole point. It was
Yeah.
like if why hasn't anybody become a superhero? And then he's getting his ass kicked. That's the reason, and everything. This one is this girl actually has background knowledge on
She's a badass fighter. She was in
Yeah.
the military. She was in the war in Iraq, Afghanistan, all that shit. So
it is a lot. This issue makes the series seem like it's going to be a really good series.
yeah, I'm actually excited to see where this goes. After the first issue, I was like, I'm gonna check out one more, but I don't see me wanting to read this. Now I'm actually invested in this one. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm interested now. So, guys, do you guys have anything else to add to the what? Are
My
we
name
reading?
is Josh. Josh, not
I would have
Jame.
laughed my ass off had he spelled his name wrong.
Joer shit.
J-A. My name is Josh. J-A-M-E. Fuck.
All right, guys. Well, I think that is all we have for you for this week's poll. We really appreciate you listening. Go ahead and hit that like button if you liked it. If there's anything that you guys are reading that you would suggest to us, or if anything that we talked about got you interested in trying some of the issues that we were talking about, go ahead and comment below. Let us know. As always, subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell button and make sure you get notified every time we upload on Thursdays. And as always, guys, take care.